Imagine if we lived in a world where middle school delinquents were stronger and much more capable than actual adults. So much to the point that adults are non-existent whenever they commit crimes. Well, meet the anime Tokyo Revengers, an anime about middle school delinquents who have nothing but black Air Force energy and are menace to society. At least that's the highlight of the show. In the story, you follow a young man named Takemichi who works an average job and has never amounted to anything great in his life. In fact, he can't even keep his damn room clean. Like, bro, at least have your damn room clean. One day, when chilling in his room full of slop, Takemichi is informed from the local news channel of the recent rapid increase in gang violence in Tokyo. However, the highlighted news story that day revolved around a young woman named Hinata Tachibana, who unfortunately was in the middle of violence going on between two rival gangs. As Takemichi is watching the news story unfold, he realizes that the young woman killed was his ex-girlfriend in middle school. One day, when at the train station, caught in deep thought about this event, out of nowhere, Takemichi gets pushed onto the train tracks. This had Takemichi thinking, is my life really about to end like this? As he's on the train tracks and the train is about to hit him, he ends up blacking out. As he awakens, he sees that he's standing up inside the train. This already has Takemichi questioning things. This is when Takemichi goes to a nearby mirror, seeing his reflection, realizing that he has gone back 12 years to when he was in middle school. He even gets a chance to see some of his old middle school friends. Long story short, after reuniting with his middle school friends, he reunited with his ex-girlfriend, which in this point in time, he is actually dating. Upon meeting her, he is overwhelmed with joy to see her, showing that the unfortunate event that would take place in the future has had a huge impact on him. When Takemichi went back in time, he also reunited with her little brother, telling him to protect his sister. After he gave some words of wisdom to her little brother, Takemichi shakes his hand, which leads him back into the future or present time. This in turn motivates the little brother to grow up to be a police officer, and because of this event change, he ends up being alive in the future to help Takemichi. This is when the plan to save her starts. Yeah, things don't really go too sweet. You see, Takemichi has the average body build and fighting ability of any middle schooler. He isn't built like any of the middle school delinquents. The plan for Takemichi is to go back in time again to 12 years and stop important events from happening between the two rival gangs. Basically, these major rival gangs in Tokyo started off when they were in middle school and things got more hectic as they became adults. So using the logic of Takemichi being average and him having to infiltrate these gangs in the past, Takemichi gets his ass kicked a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. He literally never has a fighting chance against any of these middle school delinquents, except his sheer willpower, mental fortitude, and lots of crying. Yep, this guy cries a lot, like almost every episode. Takemichi tries everything he can to stop these two rival gangs from fighting, to the point where he has to get his ass beat in order to meet important members of the gang. You know how when people are joining a gang, they get jumped in? Well, think of Takemichi as someone who gets jumped all the time, like it never ends. But you see, this is the really interesting part about the anime. It's the fact that he never gets some kind of physical buff or anything that makes him physically stronger. It's just him and his mind and endless strategizing to get involved with gang members and events to stop the violence from happening in the future. One of my favorite things about this anime is the unique cast of characters that the story brings. Each character is very interesting in their own way, and each has their own morals, laws, and ideals that they go by. The character design for these characters is really good as well. These middle schoolers have the bodies of adults and can brawl like animals. These middle schoolers can't be tamed and just run wild whenever they please. Despite this being a new anime this season, Tokyo Revengers is a very long-running shonen manga that just hit its 208th chapter. With so many chapters to be covered, there have been many plot twists and events that have occurred due to Takemichi's interference with the rival gangs. With me having read the most recent chapter, I have to say that this is one of the most intense and plot-twisting shonen stories that I have ever read. Also, there are so many amazing all-out brawls that happen in this shonen story that will have you at the edge of your seat. Sometimes the concept does feel long and drawn out, but with consistent new characters that arise in the story, it will have you anticipate anticipating what will happen next. So if you enjoyed the anime upon watching it, I highly recommend the manga as well. It won't disappoint. So that has been it for today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to get notified every time I post a new video. Also, put in the comment section below about what you would do if you were in Takamichi's situation. Would you be able to be as dedicated as him? And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace.